it's already going to raise her up. And I like to do auto supports on medium, and then I will delete certain things and add heavy supports where I think they need them, or light supports where I think they need them. So let's hit all and let it do its job. Most of these are just defaults. I let it go as is. I haven't really had any problem. I've seen that you can get better results if you adjust the contact depth. And I may try playing with that, but in very rare cases have I had an issue of it deforming the surface in any way. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, this is a big one, so it'll take a sec. Okay, there we go. Now, the first thing I like to do is after auto supports are through, I like to go on the top and then go through the layers and see how good a job it did. Right, I usually just let it have whatever it does on the inside. I haven't had any problems with it supporting the insides. Whoops, wasn't paying attention. Let's look at that arm. Well, it's okay. I might add a little bit more support there just for the heck of it. Because don't forget, all of this is going to be floating in midair until there. And then this whole thing is going to be on its own until the rest of the arm supports to the model. Right? Until it supports there, it could still be a little shaky. So maybe I'll toss an extra support on that. Let's look at the other arm. Oh, let's go back down through the skull here. I want to see how that's... So we look for the first island. That's really supported nicely. I didn't really have to do any adjustments to the skull. I added a little bit to an arm here or there. Where I had trouble is those areas I mentioned. And we go all the way down to the bottom. Here, let's... So it got all the major islands. But my first fail, right, was down here. Okay, look at this support on the underside of the feet. I think that was terrible, right? This whole peg here failed the first time I printed it because there just wasn't anything there. And I also want something holding the model down to the bed, right? That's the two important things you want to make sure you've got. You've got enough to hold the model to the bed, and you've got enough support for your islands. So I'm going to switch this to heavy. Actually, first, let's just go here. This is the removal tool. I'm just going to get rid of all of these. Come on. Because I don't like any of these. Maybe we're going to get rid of this here. Right, this is the bottom of the model. I want these supported well. So let's go back on the add. Okay. I have such a hard time controlling this. I like to get right underneath it, although it's hard to see sometimes. So now I'm going to support this like crazy. And some people might say that I'm going to over support this. And maybe I am, but I don't care. What I care about is my model failing. What I care about is contaminating my resin with little floaty bits of solidified resin. I don't like those things. So I'm going to support the crap out of this. And whether it's the best way or not to do it, I can't tell you, but I can tell you it works fine for me. Every time I printed this, and while I'm doing it, I prototype it a bunch of times just to figure out the best way to do stuff, and this has been the best way for me. Right, so I'll pour it in the middle, on the sides. And I would rather over support than under support. Whoops, let's not forget this. Whoops, didn't like that one. Control Z that sucker. I like to get them weighed. I like to get them straight up and down because in my mind these are like load bearing supports. These are going to help support, come on, the entire model. And this is not exciting work. But, you know, it can save you a mess. It can save you failed time, wasted resin. And resin supports are nothing like FDM supports. They clean up so much easier. And also, these are parts of the model that are not going to be seen, right? All of that is going to be down either in the base or on the base. So nobody's going to see that. So if that surface isn't perfect, it's okay. Okay, now I actually wind up removing these, not because they're bad supports, but just because I can't see what's going on. And it's easier to remove them and put them back in, at least to me, than to try to work around them. Okay, I'm going to remove this as well because I just, that's weird placement. Okay, so now I got access to all of this. And I'm going to go in here with medium and I want to go, what's the problem? Oh, I always forget to go back on the add supports. And when I add supports, I like to make sure that they attach to each other. So the supports not only support the model, but they support each other. If that makes sense. Like if you just have one thin support going straight up all by itself, to me that's not as stable as a support. Whoa, as a support that is joined to another support, right? It makes it stronger. And I could go up one more. I don't know if that's super necessary, but I'll do it anyway. And I'm probably going to delete this one just because it's in the way. Even though I will end up putting it back. Right? It's just easier to do this. And I know what you're saying. Why don't you just support the whole thing yourself? Because 90% of this is done for me. It's easier to just let it do it. You know, even if I have to remove a few. You know, and once again, this whole loincloth is not attached to the body, so it can move around while printing. And I got sort of a layer shift the first time I did it. After I did this, printed perfect. Okay, now I'm going to switch to light. Really, the only thing, all of these symbols printed fine in here, all by themselves as you see them, except for some reason this star. I've lost that bottom point. Super weird. But just for the heck of it, I might just put one in the center here, and then I'll put one on that bottom point, right? And that'll support each other. And we got light. I want to go back to medium. And since oh, you know what? Let's go back to light. Because I have to do this chain. And before I put all that other stuff in for the breasts and underneath the chin, I want to do it now where we can see what's going on. And all of these chains, you see, I purposely orientated them so that at least part of the chain is touching the body so I can attach it to the body. But part of the chain is sticking up in the air. So we want to support these. And I can't really, so I'm going to have to do this. I don't really, I prefer them to actually have, nope. I prefer supports to actually be supporting part of the model, not just another support, because it seems kind of wasteful. You know, is that one actually? Oh, that one's actually attached to that one, so we can let that go. And I believe this one, and we'll just toss one in there just for the halibut. Okay, let's stick. Let's go back to medium. Isn't super necessary here, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then if we go back up, woo, too close. Let's go through so we can see. There you go. There's the island, right? So that's just the tip of her chin. That would start in the middle of nowhere. So we want to make sure we support that. And I'd like to get a little farther back, maybe into here. Like so I'll put 3, maybe 4th in there. Just so it's nice and strong. It's hard to see. Whoa. Went too far. No, okay, that looks good. Can I stick another one in here? It's probably not necessary, but I'll do it. And that's really it. That's all you need for this, right? This will print absolutely no problem. So let's go back. Now we'll do this. Okay, and I like to go through, take a look at the layers. Whoops, let's stay down here somewhere. Okay, we got medium. I've been letting some go more with medium, especially with smaller parts. You don't always need a big, heavy support and lots of them. This is a little part. It's not that big a deal. You know, that might be good. Let's just, I never trust auto supports. Always double check them, right? That's how I got in trouble with that fail. I didn't double check the shoe. Let's go all the way through to the bottom. Okay, there's our first island, well supported. Second island right there, well supported. Yeah, see, this one is going to be fine on auto supports. You know, I question the need for the top supports, but it might be nice to just have something to brace it until it's fully joined. So that's good. That's really all you have to do for supports for this. Then I'll go back here. Oops. Let's go back up to the top. Okay, now I don't want to hit slice because it's going to take forever. So I'm going to stop this video here. And that's really all it takes to slice this one for the figure and for the head of the staff. I will do the rest of it in another video. And don't forget, the Enchantress is live now on Kickstarter and is totally available. You get in quick. You can still get some of the cheaper early bird prices. So make sure you jump on that. The link will be in the description of the video.